What up, Bucs fans? We are back. This is Real Bucs Talk here, live on a Monday. I'm your host, Michael Plus, joined as always my co-host, Mark Ramirez. And it's officially, I think, the start of training camp because the pads came on today. So lots to discuss, lots of news that, we're excited to break down. A lot has happened over the last week for this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. So Mark, I mean, obviously just your thoughts of training camp getting underway and how's everything you think is going so far.
I mean, first day of pads is what you're so excited about. But overall, we have the one big injury, Ryan Jensen. We have a first year going to be starter and first year going to get main reps, and Bob Hainsey out there, which sounds like he's got a good head on his shoulders. Brady upsetly just says now he's got to prove it on the field. Guess it doesn't matter what he does in the offseason. I want to see it. Again, everyone wants to see it. But that's the biggest concern. Other than that, everything around him sounds like every damn receiver is doing well. Russell Gage getting good reviews, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller. We'll go over all these guys, but no one's getting anything negative on the receiver room, which is kind of something we knew because it's so damn deep as long as they stay healthy, and that's the biggest thing. And then, again, I still can't believe Mike Evans, Julio Jones on the outside. It's just still mind-blowing. And then to hear Carlton Davis say that he's looking ever so much the exact guy he's ever played. Hasn't lost a step, looks like a damn tight end, runs like Scotty Miller, and cuts on a dime like Jalen Darden. That was enough of a quote for me. I'm like, holy shit, this is going to be an ideal outside wide receiver matchup.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you look at it, last week we were talking about the addition of Kyle Rudolph, and, obviously that is, going well so far. And then, first day of last week, of camp, you signed, or the day before camp, you signed Julio Jones, which is crazy. And it's funny, we were texting back and forth that day. We're like, oh, okay, they released Cody McElroy. And and then I was like, you were like, who are they gonna get? I was like, Julio Jones, just joking.
Yeah.
And it ends up being, true, which is funny. And it's just I can't believe it myself. I hope everything works out for him because he deserves it, and hopefully he can stay healthy, because if he is, obviously a huge piece to the offense in a limited role where he can just come in and give us some, big time plays when needed. But overall, obviously, the big injury is Ryan Jensen. We don't know the full extent of it yet, but most likely it looks like he's going to be out for the year. And now you turn to, Robert Hainsey, like you were saying, Mark, second year pro that has gotten better, behind the scenes. It seems like he's gained weight. He's put on, restructured his body.
Mm-hmm.
And so far, it looks like he's doing well in camp. And now we just got to hope he just continues to build that repertoire with Tom and gets on the same page.
And that's the biggest thing. I mean, don't be hiking the ball over Tom Brady's head. Be on the same wavelength as him. I mean, if he's making a call, make sure to relay it out to the rest of the line if the line doesn't hear it. Simple things where you just got to know what to do. Let's get that. The man in front of you, you're just helping people out. Just don't mess up those areas. And that's something where, again, every coach, everything you hear, it's neck up, he's fine. Let's see how he does when he faces bigger guys like Vita Vea, or hell, dare I say, someone was commenting on the little review or film study we had of him. Oh, when he faces Aaron Donald, he'll be done. I'm like, damn near everyone in the NFL is done if they face Aaron Donald. So I'm thinking more, can he match up with Logan Hall's speed inside? I mean, I know it's a rookie, but still, it's in a comparison. Only guy he has to face like that is that. Akeem Hicks and Vita Vea, if he can start doing well or average against these guys, he's going to do good against any power rusher there is in the NFL, because those are two of the biggest guys he's going to face. I mean, other than that, we just mentioned it, it's length. If he can just do enough to withstand that pocket for Tom Brady, I think he's going to be more than happy. And we saw he can move in the running game. I think it's just length, and Tom Brady will get the ball out. I think he just had a bad day at practice.
No, I agree. I think it's just, obviously gaining that experience, getting the reps. And the good news about this. Not saying it's good that Ryan is hurt, but obviously the benefit is it's early, so it gives you time to prepare. You still have, I think 4 or 5 weeks now to, get him ready and get him as much as prepared as you can, for Dallas. And he doesn't need to be an all-star. He doesn't need to be an all-pro. That's not what they're asking. He just needs to be average to solid enough where, he can do his job, and the offensive line around him can be, good enough. And you look at who else we have on the offensive line. You still have Tristan Wirfs, who's an all-pro. You still have Shaq Mason, who's a very good guard. And then you look at left tackle Donovan Smith, still very reliable and still above average. So really, you need the center and the left guard to just be average or better. And if you can get better, then obviously you're going to be in a very good position.
I mean, and it's not saying he's small at all. He's 6'4.5", almost 6'5", 300 pounds. Okay, he gained more weight. The only issue was the length of arms. If that's that big of an issue, that it shouldn't be. It's more technique and leveraging your body, knowing where to be, especially in the center position. It's not like he's going to be isolated by edge rushers. He's going to be bashing in there with defensive tackles and possibly linebackers that come in and blitzes. So if his head is where it needs to be, I'm comfortable with it. And I mean, people shouldn't get that alarmed. And that quote over you just saying that as long as this is almost not a good thing, but it is a benefit to us that, okay, the injury happened so early in training camp. Now you can gel that chemistry that they talk about. That happens right now. It doesn't happen week 6, week 7, week 8 during the season. That happens now where everyone's gelling together, understanding, okay, if this did happen, how the hell do I recover from it? Not in game. And you're like, oh shit, sorry, Tom.
No.
We'll get him next time. So right now is the time to gel, get that cohesive unit. So let's keep hoping on that gel to happen.
Yeah,
So,
let's go to Fukuwab here. He talks about it. I appreciate this super chat.
oh yeah.
He says, Aloha Gengi, Hainsey is getting a crash course on playing center, facing Vita, Hicks, Golston, and Hall every day is going to speed up his progression. Hopefully. Yeah, I think you're on it. Again, we appreciate the super chat, but yeah, definitely going up against those guys, like you said, Mark, is going to be a benefit for him. Not only him, but the whole offensive line. Like, that's going to help everybody. So, left guard, whoever that may be, whether it's Aaron Stinney or Luke Giddicky, that's going to benefit them. So really, now's the time, like you were talking about, gelling these guys together, making sure they're on the same page as far as calls and protections. And, I think Krillin said it as well, that the team around him is going to help him out. So I think that's going to be a benefit where we can still be okay with this, and it's not going to be as big of a deal as, some are making it to be.
I mean, it hurts. I mean, let's look at what Brady had to say. I mean, obviously that's everyone's focal point, what Brady has to say. So Bucs Brady heartbroken by Jensen knee injury, expects Hainsey to go earn starting center job. So what did he exactly say? He's worked really hard. Brady said of Hainsey on Monday, heartbroken with what happened to Ryan Jensen. That will take a little time, but Hainsey got to step into the job and do a great job. He's worked last year and really earned the trust of a lot of people, which we've been mentioning. He's got to go earn it now. So let all of us it's not what you did. It's how hard you worked in the offseason. It's how good of a football player are you. It's to be determined for all of us. So again, kind of spark notes it is what we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, it's great what you did in the offseason. You're learning. You're in the classroom. Can you apply that on the field? And can you protect me to get this damn ball out so the system can work? And hopefully, we mentioned this during the offseason, they run a little bit more, take the pressure off of Brady. You heard it from Todd Bowles. You heard it from even players that they want to start running the ball a little bit more in certain games or certain situations to get that pressure or monkey or whatever the hell you want to call it off of Brady. So it's more of a team thing instead of relying on 50 to 60 throws by Brady.
No doubt about it. And I think, and again, Curlin's making good points in here. The big loss with Jensen is obviously his demeanor and attitude. And that's something where the whole team is going to have to step up to kind of replace that. Where you look at it, they have to, find ways to bring that demeanor and energy that Jensen has. And And whether that's from different offensive linemen, whether that's Hainsey himself or Shaq Mason or Tristan Wirfs, etc., they have to be maybe that type of enforcer. But I think the main thing that we're looking for is obviously still the biggest thing, which is execution. Execution on the field, and that'll be definitely good to see.
Yeah, and actually execution on the field, let's actually break it down. So this is actually a play that, what do you know? Mr. JC Allen, you may know this group. Computer Report, really good outlet for Bucs information. So it put good rep by Hainsey against Vita Vea here. Like I was mentioning, the biggest guy he'll probably face all year is who's getting reps in every day at practice. So there he is, right there, smack dab in the middle. Let's look at him first. We're going to break down everyone else in the line because there's a lot going on in this one little play that everyone's just sealing in on Hainsey. We're going to break down everything. But right now, just take a peek at Hainsey. So here we go. One-on-one. What's he going to do? He's going to against Vita Vea, right? Boom. Stands him up. Here he is right here. Initial jolt at the line. He's standing him up. Everyone else has passed him. So Hainsey doing his job. Walking him down the line. I know Vita Vea kind of got a little extension there, but still. The play isn't here. The play is going to the right. Old Akeem Hicks gets in there. Bam. So that's a pretty cool play to see. I'll let you break it down a little bit more. Plus, what did you see?
Well, like you said, I mean, with Hainsey, just going up against Vita Vea, that's a huge benefit. And it's good to see that he's using his legs there, getting lower with good pad level, and just leveraging out against Vita, using that arm extension a little bit. So he's getting a good jolt of power. But then my main obviously that stands out in that play is just Akeem Hicks, and even though Shaq Mason does a great job of really anchoring here. Like he re-anchors, but you see the length that Akeem Hicks can provide. And yeah. I mean, that's just crazy right there. And
he's gonna, what the hell am I supposed to do here?
He's gonna be a huge benefit for this defense. And then you obviously see Keefe, blocking against Joe Tryon-Shoyinka. And this is what we talked about, Keefe. That's what he does, man. He knows how to block, and this is what you bring him in for, and it's good to see. And it's still a good job there by Joe. He's holding the edge there, so he's doing his job. So a lot of good things, a lot of positives there on both sides, the way I see it.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing to me, they were looking at Hainsey. You just mentioned Akeem Hicks, the ability to leverage, extend those arms, and even disengage. I mean, just getting off that block to get after the tackle. Not humiliating the running back, but still getting in there, showing, I would have knocked the crap out of you if you would have kept going. And then, like you touched on, Keefe, ability to absorb the impact of Joe Tryon-Shoyinka going right through him, taking it up, and nope, you're going in the air. You're not going to get anywhere around me. That's good all around. I mean, good effort, good things to see from, I guess, your offensive line, defensive line, everything. This is just iron sharpening iron, and awesome. I hope you guys like that breakdown. I mean, it's not just Hainsey. I mean, that's what they kind of put it out there as, but that was an awesome view of everything to me. Now that's something that gets us excited.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, much appreciated to JC Allen out there. He's in the chat. That was his video. So again, we're very thankful. They do great work there at Pure Report. And yeah, I mean, it's just, it's cool to see again, as the days continue, you just hope you see development, see progress like that on both sides where, everyone's making, everyone's making plays. So, and the best part about today is really no injuries to speak of. So that's awesome to see as well.
Yeah. I mean, let's keep that up.
Keep it up.
I know what Bernard Perryman had that one little.
Yeah, it looks like Bernard pulled up a little bit. I'm not sure if he came back later in the practice, but yeah, hopefully everyone is good to go tomorrow. We just have to see who comes out with the bucket hats, because that usually means they're not practicing. So hopefully we don't see any of those tomorrow.
If it is, it's just rest days. Let's not let them be any injuries. Let's avoid that. We already had one. This one too much. Let's keep going down the line. So we talked a lot on Hainsey. I hope you guys kind of get enough of what's going on with that situation. It still has to become something. I mean, you're without Jensen for likely a long time, if not for the season. Hainsey's automatically your shoe-in. If he shows anything bad, obviously the Bucs will make a move, but it looks like they're sticking in-house. Let's go also to this other play that they brought in one-on-ones. I thought this was really cool to see a guy that is often injured as well.
Right.
Stay damn healthy. Let's go over Mr. Scotty Miller winning some one-on-ones. I don't know who took this one, but pretty legit. Let's watch it.
Yeah.
Full speed. Getting after it. Look at this quickness. Dropping his hips down. Whoop. Look at the separation. Disgusting.
Yeah. Scotty's good, man. That the biggest thing for him is just being on the field. You know, he's just got to take care of his body and stay healthy because he can do things like this. I want to say that's Logan Ryan, but I'm not sure if that's 26 or someone else. But yeah, I mean, it's impressive. Like if he can just be consistent, and obviously he had a big day today, which is really nice to see, because everything with his game is very solid. You know, obviously he's got the elite speed, and everything sets up off of that. So it's really nice to see that.
And it's cool to see. We always see him as just a straight line runner, right? Look at the shiftiness here. Stop on a dime, cut back inside. I know they're not really tackling right now, but still, the shiftiness, the suddenness, catch, pluck it out of there and go. I also look at the end of this. Okay, he sinks, but look at him make one little shuffle closer to the ball so the defender has no chance of getting to it. But a little chop, catches and goes. A lot of cool little subtle things. He's literally a veteran now. Like,
yeah,
this isn't like a young spring chicken. He knows what he has to do. He knows what he's good at and where he had to improve on. And again, another guy, if he just stays damn healthy, he has a good shot at making the team and actually making a big influence. We know Brady liked him his first year here. Why the hell not? Why not again?
No doubt about it. And I think for him, he's going to have to find a place on special teams, and he's in the mix for that return job. So it's him, Jalen Darden, Devin Tompkins, and others. But, you know, those are like your three main guys that are competing for the punt return. And we've seen Scotty do it before. So if he can find a way to potentially win that job, or even just be on special teams as a gunner, as we've seen, you know, in the past, yeah, it definitely helps him, because right now it's, you know, 5, 6, and 7 that everyone's competing for, because the top 4 are obviously locked. You know, Evans, Godwin, Gage, Julio Jones again. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yeah, it's crazy that, you know, he's a 4th receiver. Yeah. So Scotty's he's just so talented, man. You'd hate to see him go. So hopefully just be consistent.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna second what you just said there about Julio Jones. It's astronomically amazing, if that's a way to put it.
Yeah.
I mean, did you ever think there would be a day they'd be on the same team and 3 back-to-back like that? I don't know. But jump balls, end zone threats, like, it's not just Mike Evans no more. Like that, I used to say inside the 5, it should be a shoe-in, just one-on-one Mike Evans on the side. Oh, maybe they can shade over a safety. You can't do that now. Like, it's whoever the hell doesn't get one-on-one, have a jump ball in the corner, fade, Julio or Mike. If they push out, middle of your offense is wide the hell open. So
yeah, Mike already talked about it. He's like, I hope he takes double teams off of me. So yeah, it's going to be a thing of beauty. And just, I was watching, you know, some of last year's highlights, and, you know, every time Mike had a one-on-one, usually it ended up in some type of touchdown, you know, whether it's a deep ball or, you know, around the red zone area. So they definitely want to take advantage of those opportunities. And if he can get more of those, that's just going to make you much more effective offensively.
And Farouk Wab had a good question, or a good question. Is it just me, or does Scooter always fall when he's catching the ball deep? He does tend to do that, very much so. It's almost the same thing as Mike Evans. He catches deep ball. He just kind of falls. He doesn't really have a yak. He just goes down. I don't understand why. But maybe he's just going so damn fast he can't slow down.
Yeah, I mean,
that's all I'm going to say.
Right, yeah, get in the end zone. You can fall anytime you want once you're in the end zone. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know why that is. It just, yeah, it seems to slip on his feet, but he gets open. I mean, you got to count that as something. He's open when he does fall. So I guess that's the beauty to it.
All right, well, let's take a little break really quick. If you're part of the show right now, you're in the comment section, make sure to hit that like button for us. Help support the channel. Always helps us. You're already commenting, you're subscribed. You already know what you're doing with that stuff, which is golden. But this is for everyone who hasn't done it yet. Hit the thumbs up for us. Help support us. And then also, if you also want to greatly support us, go check out Gulf Coast Premier Fitness Expo. We will be in attendance. It's an awesome event. It's in a local Tampa event. We're doing all types of cross-fitting events. Athletes will be there. Free. Actually, I guess I don't know if it's football players, but there will be a whole bunch of other athletes you can go visit with, food, drinks, adult beverages. If you're looking just to get out of the damn house, have a good time, hang out with friends, always something to do in the Tampa area. That's something where we're going to be going to do August 27th, 28th, 25% off if you use RBT25 on the tbfitexpo.com. Come check us out over there as well. Come talk with us, not just on this computer screen. Let's get back into it. And plus, so initially we talked about Hainsey, talked about wide receiver room, how loaded it is, how amazing it is to get Julio Jones, but we stopped tooting his horn. That's actually more film on him too.
Right.
But defensively, they haven't been really talked about much besides Tom Brady getting upset. There usually is a reason behind him being upset. Maybe it's a timing issue, but maybe the defense is actually looking pretty damn good. Maybe that defensive line's looking good. Linebackers we talk about very often. We're actually going to come up with a video about Devin White and how he could have a breakout season this year. What do you think about the defense? All we talk about is offense. That's what everyone wants to talk about. But defensively, what are we looking at?
Yeah, defensively, I think the biggest thing, and you can say this for the whole team, is just got to stay healthy. You got to, they got to be available to play. And last year it was tough because it seemed like from that first game, you just keep losing secondary players. First it was Sean Murphy-Bunting, and then you had others that got hurt. Then all of a sudden you have Richard Sherman in the starting lineup who was just not ready to play. Yeah, I mean, they got to be on the field. And you look at Levante David coming back strong. Devin White, obviously we're going to talk about him later in the week. And then the additions up front, I think getting faster on the defense as well, especially in the front seven. You look at Joe Tryon Shoyinka being a full-time starter now. That adds his athleticism even more. He doesn't have to worry about playing behind Jason Pierre-Paul. Then you have Shaq Barrett, who's going to be rushing from his preferred side, which is going up against the left tackle. That's where he got, the 19.5 sacks that 1 year because he was going up against, just his natural pass rushing side. So that's going to be a benefit. And then you look at just the additions like we talked about, Akeem Hicks, Logan Hall, Vita Vea getting better. That's going to benefit your defense. And then you hope in the secondary they can just find consistency. And I think adding veterans like Logan Ryan and Keanu Neal, that should help a lot with tackling. I think tackling has been a big point of emphasis because guys would catch the ball for 5-7 yards and it would end up being 20 because we couldn't make a tackle on the outside. So I think that's going to be huge with those two additions.
And looking at the actual defensive, not that one. Let's go over here. We have the defensive depth chart. I mean, everyone was hooting and hollering about Antoine Winfield Jr. playing the nickel corner. Again, this guy is a Pro Bowler at the safety position. He can play anywhere. I think they're just using the toy that they have. And then Jamel Dean being a backup to SMB, who was the starting outside corner. Okay. I'm not going to get too upset about that. Sean Murphy-Bunting, you've said it before. I've said it before. He does look more of a natural on the outside. They just used him every which way because they like his awareness on the field, his ability in zone, but I just think they were making him do too much. Is Winfield Jr. going to be a constant in the nickel? Highly doubt it. But can he do it? Yes. I'm not going to expect 5'9" to be covering taller slot wide receivers, put it that way.
Right.
But the thing is, like you said, stay healthy. I think that's another reason why they got veteran safeties in Keanu Neal, Logan Ryan. Ryan can play nickel in a pinch. Winfield can play nickel in a pinch. Edwards can play it. So you have so many guys that can do this.
Right.
And then interchangeably, that helps out your secondary. I mean, your corners. SMB, I don't know why. I just feel like he's going to get hurt again. It's just almost like a reoccurring thing to me.
Yeah.
And it'll be a lingering thing throughout the year. I just can't depend on him until he's proven me wrong. Ross Cockrell, again, I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't know
Yeah.
who
I
is,
don't
but
personally, I don't think Ross is gonna make the team. I think he's lost his speed element. I think age has caught up to him, unfortunately. And at best, he's a safety at this point. So I don't think he's gonna be making it. I think they're looking really hard at D Delaney as that next guy up, and then you look at trying to obviously Zion McCollum. You know, they're trying to develop him quickly and see how fast he can come along. You still have Rashad Robinson, who I think they like a little bit. Don Gardner just came off the PUP, and then Kyler McMichael out of North Carolina. They gave a big time, signing bonus. So yeah, I agree with J.C. Allen. Ross um, put back on the practice squad. So
let's see.
yeah, yeah, I could definitely see that happening.
And then Nolan Turner's just turning heads in camp right now. I know
Right.
it's really early on, but still.
Yeah, he's making plays.
If you get his name called a lot of times in a positive way, that's really good. It's not like you're getting picked on. You're picking the ball off. It's a big difference. So
yeah,
good competition all around. I really like the secondary in a whole. I think if they stay healthy, the big if, but it's just so many interchangeable parts. Carlton Davis is your mainstay. Jamel Dean, if he loses out to SMB, I'll be very surprised. I think it's going to be like it was last year. SMB's going to be in the slot or in the nickel. Dean outside, Carlton Davis outside. I think it's how it's going to end up. And Winfield Jr. will be helping out when need be. But to me, it's a team that is filled with veterans and young influx and guys that are ready to break out. Like Joe Tryon Shoenka, ready to break out. Akeem Hicks, if he stays healthy, veteran, a guy that's hungry for a championship, huge. I mean, the defense starts up front. The defensive line is nasty. Logan Hall, let's see what happens. Yeah, I know he's a big different guy than all the other interior linemen, but he could be the outlier, the hidden gem. Everyone else is expecting big power, and he come in with a 3-tech like this. It can jump into a gap. I like it. And we'll break more on this during the week, like Plus was touching on with Devin White, but very, very advantageous ways where this team can get after it and force turnovers.
Yeah, that's going to be the big thing. I think Carlton Davis spoke about it today. They went like 30 plus turnovers this season, and they have the capability to do it. And guys in the chat are talking about S&B and Dean kind of being on a kind of rotation there. So yeah, I mean that definitely could be a possibility. Yeah, I mean times have changed, right? But I agree with you. I think Dean's most likely going to be the outside corner. He's too good not to be in there. And I think he fits what they want to do. And plus he's in the right position to make plays. He just got to finish those interceptions. Same thing with Carlton Davis. And then you look at Sean Murphy Bunting. I think he will still be in the nickel spot. And again, he'll be in a rotation with others if they want to play based on matchup. Certain coverages with certain guys like Logan Ryan could be in the slot to help out the nickel and stuff like that.
Yeah, SMB can rotate left and right.
Yeah, that's Josh. He's also from Pew Report. That's pretty funny.
I mean, the dude just needs to stay healthy and stick to one position. Simplify. I mean, I know we touched on it with Russell Gage before.
Yeah,
they're making things simple for him. They just win at this one route. Win here. That's all you got to do. SMB, they try to do too much with early on, and I think that kind of ruined his maturation, not to mention his injuries. Fans either love him or they hate him. I'm a little bit of both. Like I hate him when I see some of the crap that I see on film.
Yeah.
Then you see something, you're like, holy crap, that's a heady play. You're forcing the quarterback to go to the next read and ends up in a sack or maybe a tip ball, almost interception. So I don't know. Yeah, Joshua said slow processor. He is at times, and then at times he's actually pretty good. And I'm more make your decision. Are you going to jam someone at the line, or are you going to give a 10-yard like cushion? That's what I don't get. I just don't get that at all.
Right. Yeah, you definitely want to see him play more press man coverage, and I think at times they are at least going into the season. I think they were wanting to do that, but then the injuries happened, so you had to go a little bit more safe. They didn't want to get the ball thrown over their heads. And, that's what the scheme is kind of about. It's about keeping guys in front of you, making the tackles, and then getting aggressive at times when you have third and, third and long situations where you can get after the quarterback and make those big plays. Because again, the whole scheme is about creating turnovers, right? And that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get the quarterback to make that one mistake you end the drive. And for this team, they just have to capitalize on those opportunities because they are there for the taking. So secondary as a whole, they got to catch the ball. That's going to be the big thing.
Yeah, see, so here it is. SMB is a ball hawk. So you got the crowd that loves him. You got the crowd that hates him. There's no in between. And we walk a fine line when we talk about these things. I know injuries are a part of the game, but it seems like when someone keeps getting injured every year after year, it starts to get almost annoying, especially when the biggest thing is availability. And you're a detriment to your team if you keep getting injured.
Yeah.
I know it's part of it, but sometimes you got to play through these things. But yeah, that's the SMB outside corner spot that we're talking. And I wanted to touch more on that. Like you mentioned that it's a defense centered around the turnover, right? I felt like there were times where this front four just didn't get pressure at all, and teams were just going down the drive every game. And the biggest one that pissed me the hell off was the Jets game. A game that should not have been. I know we won last year. We should not have been close. Not only did Antonio Brown walk the hell off the field, but we were getting our ass kicked because this defense is dink and dunk, and it wasn't even their number one Zach Wilson. It was a nobody at quarterback, and you're just getting your ass kicked. And I'm like, there's no pressure. You're sitting back in zone nonstop. There's no zone blitz, it's just zone. Because like you said, they were afraid to get beat deep. And then that gave away the run. A lot of bad things to be fixed on. I think the interior pressure of Akeem Hicks is going to be humongous. JTS on the outside, bringing more consistent pressure than JPP could, because JPP did lose a step, and he just wasn't the same character or same guy anymore. And that's something he pushed heavily on, but he's a fan favorite. He's on the team right now, and I think it shows that they saw it too. So I just think that extra pressure is going to be huge for this secondary. And it's not just covering for 7 seconds and getting an interception. No, it's usually the pressure got in there and the quarterback had to throw the ball errantly, and there goes the interception.
No, right. You're on it. And I think that's why they're trying new things. You see Antoine Winfield in the nickel. Not saying this isn't new. They did this last year with Mike Edwards and Sean Murphy, and obviously they did it with Jordan Whitehead, where yes, he did. But obviously they did this before with the 3 safety looks, but they want to have ability where they can put Antoine Winfield in that position a little bit more instead of just having him at free safety, allow him to be that playmaker that they're expecting him to be, whether that's blitzing or, just playing man coverage or playing zone, short zone, stuff like that. And I think the additions of Logan Ryan, Keanu Neal, that allows you a little bit more flexibility because those guys, their skill set is better than what we've had last year, at those positions, in my opinion. And I think you would agree with that. Those guys just a little bit more aware, and they know how to play what fits them best, right? Logan Ryan's a very instinctual, understands concepts, and knows where to be at all times. And then Keanu Neal's kind of same thing as Jordan Whitehead, where he can come down, hit you really hard, play in the box, be that extra linebacker or, play some coverage and man situations.
Yeah, this is incredible. Could you imagine that 5-1-5 looks for this defense?
Yeah,
just definitely light in the middle, just flying everywhere, and the secondary is loaded.
I definitely could see that, and you could see maybe more pass rush opportunities for not only Devin White as an edge rusher, but also Levante David. I think that is something they need to get back to. They did a little bit in that 2020 season where it worked. And you had a healthy secondary. I think that's the biggest thing. So if they can do some things like that, where they can get creative with either Devin or Levante coming off the edge to help your pass rush, I think that would be beneficial.
Yeah, and you just touched on it, but to me, Logan Ryan being the heady and communicator. It's not just literally, I've done this for years. No, I can communicate the defense to the rest of the teammates around me. So it's not just me knowing it. Everyone around me knows what I know. That's huge, considering his teammates have already talked about it, and you just see it from years past. Something he can communicate throughout the whole entire room, and hopefully that bleeds over to everyone else. Mike
Mm.
Edwards, we've seen he's a ball hawk. He likes to jump routes. Let's also make sure everyone knows what the hell's going to happen. If I see this, I'm going to jump this, not just I'm just going to wing it. Like that. Let's make sure everyone's on the same page.
Right.
That's
Yeah,
huge.
we saw that way too much last year. I mean, that 3rd and 20 play still is just like blaring in my mind where, 3rd and 20 against the Rams, you allow Cooper Kupp to score a touchdown. Stuff like that has to be fixed. If the corner's expecting help over the top, you got to make sure you're there, especially in that 3rd and long situation. So, yeah, communication is going to be very pivotal, and that's something that should be corrected. I mean, all these guys are in their 2nd year or later,
Yeah.
as far as their career. I think most of them are 3rd year or more. So,
And
yeah,
that's something that Todd Bowles talked about. He's like, we got athletes, we've got strength, speed, got everything you want. It's just let's limit the mistakes.
yeah,
Those are
mental.
huge mistakes. And if you know where to be, you know where my friend or my teammate's going to be, you got your I's dotted, T's crossed, you can go execute at a high level. If you're just guessing, you're leaving someone out to dry. And that's a team game. You got to be able to get this. And I think they got a lot of team players on this team and guys that have been in the system long enough that they know what the hell they should be doing.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, that's what it's about. It comes down to execution. I mean, and I think I forget who this was. I believe it was Devin White. He talked about it like everyone's good in this league. Everyone has the ability. It's about the mental game, and that's what separates the good players from the great ones, right? So it's just being that consistent factor on the field. And I think that's something, defensively, I hope we can see a lot better going forward.
Yeah. And again, it's coming to fruition little by little. And there's a whole bunch of other storylines where I hope you guys are liking our little short videos that we're giving out there. It's exciting for us. We kind of do these quick ones and we're like, oh, let's talk about this one little scenario, this one little competition, like whatever it is. If you want more, let us know in the comments down below on this chat or in whatever video we do of situational types or any storyline you want to hear. Have us break it down a little bit more. Let's do it. But also another kind of key big competition. I want to go back to the offense really quick.
Yeah.
Is looking at the left guard position. It's something that was kind of talked about a little bit. Brandon Walton was starting at left guard for 2 days. Now Aaron Stinney's back in there. Luke Gedeke was in there today. Got pushed around by Vita Vea, which often people do. But I mean, I guess talk about that really quick a little bit before we kind of jump into the nitty gritty of the questions.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I mean it's a battle, and obviously Aaron Stinney was back in there with the first team, and then Luke Luke Gedeke was right. Luke Gedeke was getting the second team reps. It's going to play out. Obviously the big thing is the preseason games, right? We're going to see it. We're going to see it in the joint practices with the Dolphins and the Titans. That's really what's going to decide the competition. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see how it all shapes up, and both of those guys, I think, are doing what is expected of them right now.
And if you guys wondered who the hell is this Brandon Walton guy, yeah, we didn't really know either. 6'5", 300 pounds, 1 year experience, 24 years old, very young as well. So not like he was an experienced guy. Like, oh, they'd rather go with the more awareness. Now he's young too. Some people like the how would I say this nicely? He's getting this because of what happened to Jensen thing. He threw the guy into Jensen's knee. Say what you will about that. I think it's getting all these guys reps. I don't think you'd get mad at Cindy and just take him away and lose really good timing with and gelling with the chemistry of the rest of the line if that was the case. I think they're just testing things out, seeing who the hell the best person is they can put in that position.
No, couldn't agree more. I think, yeah, that again, it's a competition. So competition is going to bring out the best in these guys, and that's how they're playing it right now. But like I said earlier, games are going to determine this. The practices with the other teams, it's all going to come to fruition here shortly, and we'll find out who that guy's going to be. If I had to put money on it, obviously I really like Luke Giddicky. I think he's got the upside and the ability, but we'll just have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm gonna say Stinney just based off of experience, and
Mhm.
maybe Gedeke takes over eventually. But I don't know. It's a big question mark. Something that I think is the biggest one in the team. Now, 'cause we already know Hainsey's got the job at center. He just has to make sure he's consistent with what he's doing. Left
Mhm.
guard is just a question mark, and still, it's scary that your whole interior has to learn each other all over again.
Yeah.
That's a little scary, a little bit.
But I mean, again, it's something they can overcome. Leadership on this team is going to make sure it gets right. They're going to figure it out. So, yeah, I don't have any issues, with that competition. Again, the best guy will, I think, get the job. And again, like I said earlier, they just have to be average to solid, and that's what you're looking for. And you still have three really good offensive linemen at your tackle spots, and then obviously right guard. So it should be good enough.
All right, one more thing. I want to just this just looks insane. I know we've mentioned it like 5 times now. Look at Julio Jones, bro. Number 85. It looks awkward as hell. Julio Jones in a Buccaneer uniform right next to Tom Brady. I think we talked about this throughout the week last week. I don't know why. I just have a feeling this is like a year where Brady's going to blow up the league, and because you have Mike Evans and Randy Moss. I don't know. I don't know who's going to do it. I see all these projections and stuff of people saying, "Oh, who's going to have 1,000 yards?" I honestly think they could have 3 receivers with 1,000 yards this season.
It's definitely possible. Yeah, definitely it's a possible option. Um, but yeah, I mean it's it's just exciting, as long as they can stay healthy. The offensive line I think is um gonna be just fine. I know a lot of that's been the hot topic, but they're gonna be good. You have Tom Brady leading the helm. He gets rid of the football quickly, and he's got these playmakers to dish out the ball. And we haven't even talked about the running backs and the tight ends who, there's a bunch of talent right there. Running backs I think are going to be very solid. You have upside with Rashad White. Obviously, you have Leonard Fournette, Giovanni Bernard, and Keyshawn Vaughn as well. So it's a good group, and I think offensively it comes back to what I said, what we both said earlier. It's just execution. As long as they can execute, they're going to be just fine. And they have a bunch load of talent. Like it's not a talent issue.
Yeah, especially with like you just said, Tom Brady's leading the helm.
Yeah.
It's all about mismatches. I know we're trying to run a system, but if push comes to shove, you have our weapons versus their defense. Someone is going to be a glaring mismatch. And you're building the chemistry with Russell Gage right now. You already know what Chris Godwin can do. That's 4 great weapons you can use. And like you said, not to mention Rashard White catching the ball out of the backfield, Leonard 94 net. What if Kate Otten becomes something? Kyle Rudolph. O'Keefe is blocking well. What if he can block and do these quick goal line stances, block and get out like Gronk used to do? There's many ways you can use all these glutton of weapons. And offensively, it shouldn't be a worry. I know the offensive line is someone said a weak link.
Yeah.
As of now, yes. But as the chemistry builds, 5 guys working on one, your outside guys are covered. Donnie and Tristan Wirfs are good. The inside will get there. Shaq Mason, you shouldn't be that worried about. He knows what he's doing. He's a veteran. It's just the 2 guys next to him. But I think it's going to come a lot better than people think.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. And again, this is an offense that has been really good at the last couple of years. Again, top 5 in the league over the last couple of seasons, and the talent is there. The offensive line, I think, will be just fine. They'll figure it out. I think you're going to see more emphasis with the run game. That's going to bring more balance to the offense, and I think it's going to help them out. Definitely going forward. And having Tom and obviously Mike Evans, those are your superstars, and then with Chris and Julio, etc. It's going to be a lot of fun. And JC brought up a good point. about Russell Gage, and we actually have a video coming out on him tomorrow, just talking about how he's standing out. So yeah, I can't wait to watch that guy. Very underrated signing, probably the best signing I think of the offseason for the team. So it's going to be a lot of fun.
I almost just want to say I told you so because so many people kept writing him off. I mean, if you look at all the crap he did in Atlanta last year,
Right.
insane. He used him anywhere, any freaking where, and he succeeded. And oh, he's not good enough. We need more. We need something else. I don't necessarily think we needed Julio Jones. It was just something to laugh at the league and say, look, who the hell are you going to cover? We needed it now. We didn't need it, but we're going to use it. I mean, Chris Godwin, come back slowly. Don't rush it. It's going to be scary. I think Gage is going to be used in so many damn different ways, and Brady's going to smile. More pearly whites. I want to see that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, and that's why I'm not worried about the offensive line, because they're going to find ways to get rid of the football, and Tom does that the best. Like, he's so good at pre-snap reads. He's going to be able to identify the protections. He's going to help out Hainsey a lot, making sure guys are in the right spot. They can shift the protection to the left side if needed. So, yeah, I don't see it as an issue right now. Again, we'll see how the games progress. Maybe Brady gets hit more than often, or again, he might not even play in the preseason. So, we'll just have to see how that works out.
Highly doubt it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's when week one comes in, and is there a misassignment? Is someone messing up? I don't think they're going to look like the Bengals offensive line from last year's run, but I mean, the interior, that's where Brady makes his magic, right? Stepping up in the pocket. If he can't step up, that's a big problem. And Jensen was humongous as opposed to, I mean, the way Hainsey's made, he's more top heavy, doesn't have the biggest thick legs. I mean, he transformed himself a little bit, but still, you can still see little skinny legs there. But let's see. I mean, Kappa didn't have the best guard body either, but he was serviceable. And he led to great offensive line plays. Let's just look for consistency, not like, where is it? This is the best I saw. Where was it? Where is he? Where is he? Here we go. That more O-line isn't about having 5 studs so much as it is not having any weak links. And that's it. Just be consistent at your play. You don't have to have all pros at all levels of offensive line. We need execution. I mean, the Cowboys had elite level offensive linemen for years. Did they get to the Super Bowl? No. Quarterback play, making the right decision over and over again, and a well-rounded team. So it's not just look at the overall offensive line that makes your team. So coaching has to step in at one point or another.
Yeah, no, definitely agree. Again, it's great to see training camp is back full in swing. It's great to have football here. We actually have a game this week with the Hall of Fame game, and then the Bucs will be playing not this weekend but the following weekend, which is so exciting. We haven't even talked about other things about Kyle Trask. We put a Kyle Trask video out today. He's got a great opportunity to get that backup QB position. But thank you guys so much for joining us. We appreciate all the support. Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't. Everyone in the chat, you guys are awesome. JC Allen from Pew Report, Josh from Pew Report, thank you. Krillin, always a pleasure. Fukuwab. So pretty much everybody, much support to you. We can't do this without you. So with that said, everyone have a great night. Go Bucs, and we'll see you on the next one.